rolling.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 164 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies Podcast. We are brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, that's website design, SEO, Google Ads, graphic design, printing. We can absolutely help. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com. You can request a free review of your online presence today. And we're also brought to you by
Fight Tape US. If you are a cut man,
hold on. Did you pay the invoice? No, I'm just kidding.
What, I don't. What the?
Right, you just said, hey, pay that invoice. Fight Tape.
I've got a protein bar.
No, just kidding. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
It is a locally owned fight kit company focusing on coaches and cut men. At the moment, we are producing gauze and tape. I went around the world, checked out some factories, got some products, found the best gauze I could find for hand wrapping, put it out, and in doing so, found out how much I was getting ripped off this whole time as a cut man by like the bigger name brands. Yeah. Again, I went for top of the line everything, and it's still way cheaper than the basic stuff that we're getting.
Very cool.
So I wanted to take that and reach it out to people that do what I do so they can take advantage of it.
And I respect the grind, man.
You know how we go.
So they can find Fight Wrap, the gauze.
Yes.
You said, is it literally end tape? You have the tape as well? Or are you selling the tape as well?
Tape's not up on the site yet.
Okay. But you will.
It's been sitting in Heathrow for a couple weeks. You know, customs.
Waiting on those tariffs?
Oh, I guess. Yeah. I was like,
you better get it in quick.
I ordered it 3 months before the tariffs. Yeah. I should not be.
Yeah.
But yeah, once it comes in, we are locked and loaded, ready to go.
Very
Website's up. Everything's working.
Go to hammerjujitsushop.com.
If you're on Instagram, Hammer Jiu-Jitsu Shop is the profile. If you are online, fighttape.us is an active and working website.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And we're both repping
Hammer Jiu-Jitsu Shop.
Hammer Jiu-Jitsu. Hammer Striking Systems. Very cool.
I like punching stuff.
What's it? Yeah.
It's a problem.
Owner for those first-time listeners, people don't know, you are owner of
I own
ATT
American
Palm
Top
Beach
Team
Gardens.
Palm Beach Gardens. So if you're in the North Palm Beach area and looking to get involved in the martial arts in any way, from a hobbyist to a competitor, we have what you need.
There you go.
Show up, try it out.
So I am Milton Campus. I'm a black belt training out of Coral Springs, BJJ in Coral Springs, Florida. We got Christian behind the camera.
Hey.
Hey. Hi. Don't forget to like, comment, save, share, click that subscribe button. We really appreciate all of your support. We were just talking, Leighton and I, who we're going to introduce in a second. We're talking before the podcast. This is we're 6 years in. April, the month of April was when we did our first meeting. Like, this is when the idea was conceived, and I think we launched the first podcast. Like, I think actually like on May 1st was the. So we're
That's
6
awesome.
years in, man. Yeah.
Congrats, sir! Happy anniversary.
Joining us today is Purple Belt and author of Your Happiness Equation, Leighton Campbell.
Hey,
welcome, brother. How you doing, man?
Doing excellent, man.
Fellow for the BNIers out there that listen to us, fellow BNIer as well. 13 years into BNI. BNI, for those who don't know, is like a referral organization, business networking groups, right? So, yours is based in what's
Plantation.
So you're Plantation as well, but
you're in Plantation too?
I'm in Plantation. I live in Coral Springs. I moved from a group that was Coral Springs. I moved to one in Plantation.
Oh, no way.
I was in an all virtual, and then I went to one. It's one in person, 3 virtual.
Hybrid.
So yeah, moved down to that one. Brandy was in my group. Brandy, my salesperson who met you first and introduced us. She was in my group. She switched industries, or she didn't switch. She was leaving.
Sure.
Because it didn't work out in her industry. She was an amazing salesperson, and I was just like, we walked out of our meeting. It was in a Dunkin' Donuts. They have like a nice little boardroom.
Yeah, I know that one.
Right.
On 84.
In
It is a lovely Dunkin' Donuts.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I go to sit down to do a one-to-one. She just finishes telling everybody at the end of the meeting that it's her last meeting. Little upset. Yeah. I go sit down to do this one-to-one, and I'm like, hold on one second. And I'm like, I'm hiring her before anybody else gets her. And I think I either messaged her or called her. I said, hey, I think you would really do your personality. You'd kill it in my industry. Awesome. A week later, she was working for us.
That's awesome.
And like, I think 2-3 other people in our group tried. Yeah. I was the first, but I was like, not that we're the easiest. It was just like, you just have to be that. You just be you. and you will get business.
Yeah,
We'll do the hard work. Like, get them through the door, talk to people. They have to know, like, and trust, right? And immediately everybody likes her. So it was perfect. So she started working for us. And then again, you did a 1-to-1, and you did a 1-to-1 with her, and then she introduced us.
Yeah, I went to her chapter, visited her chapter. They were passing around business cards, and I saw black belt digital marketing with a belt that was definitely 100% a jiu-jitsu belt. It was not a karate belt. I was like, hold on, what's going on here? Like, so I went up to her, and I didn't know her, didn't know anything. I just saw her card. And I was like, I have to talk to her to find out the story about.
You're like, does this girl do jiu-jitsu?
You never know. You never know. So I talked to her, and then, the rest is history.
Yeah, man. Right here. There's the logo, right? And I didn't, because when the company was born, I just did the black belt because I was just like, oh, I do jiu-jitsu. I can say, hey, I'm a black belt at marketing. I was like a purple belt at the time, getting my brown. So there was never an intention for this to be like an MMA or jiu-jitsu marketing company. Like, I wasn't looking for, we have clients in the space, but it wasn't that. It would make a lot of sense if we specialize. But that's a difficult world to live in. It's like, it's become saturated. It's hard. So, but we do have a couple of martial arts clients.
Made you stick to the commitment. Once
One
you
of my
commit to the name.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I guess I gotta finish.
I don't. I'm gonna have them on the show, and I'll talk about it then. But one of the women who won ADCC is a client. Point B, I could say. I have two affiliations, Avive and Aviv.
Okay.
Aviv Jiu-Jitsu in Boynton Beach, they're a client.
With Luana.
And then Luana and Anna Carolina Vieira, who won ADCC. And then we have Avive, who is affiliated with Academy Safe. They are the AD company that we have an agreement with, that we try to put our Academy members together with. So
I heard they have shocking
I always say
jiu-jitsu.
What's that?
Shocking.
No, they're not jiu-jitsu related though.
They are shocking though.
They're related to Academy Safe though. So man, thank you for coming in. Thank you for doing this, man. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
I don't want to say fresh off of, but definitely I was impressed when I saw that you were on Elvis Duran, on the Elvis Duran show, right? You went up to New York and you were on the show.
So we have a family friend from Broward County, actually, who's one of Elvis's co-hosts, Maida Gandhi.
Cool. Gandhi, okay, yeah. My girlfriend, right?
Yeah. Girlfriend.
My girlfriend loves that show.
Yeah.
I just told her yesterday who was coming on, and she's just like, "Oh my God, you Elvis?" And I show her the Instagram, say, "Oh my God, that's Gandhi." And she's like, "That's Gandhi." Oh my God, now when I tell her that, she's gonna really love it.
Yeah, she's awesome. Maida's awesome.
Family, a friend. Gandhi's a friend.
Family friend. Yeah.
Is she down here when she does the show? Is she down here, or she goes up there too?
In New York.
Okay, they're all
live
don't
in New
they
York.
like Froggy or one of the, like? Isn't somebody remote down in Florida? Like there's, or at least for a time
probably
there was
during
somebody.
COVID.
Okay,
they were all working from
maybe.
home,
Right.
and
What
maybe
show?
some of them went.
What show are you talking
Elvis Duran show is syndicated, like it's on the Y100 down here in the
okay.
mornings. That's the morning show, but it's like syndication, so it's like every state's their version of. I think in New York they're on like Z100, right?
Yeah,
like Z100. So. I don't know if that they're all affiliated, but down here it's Y100.
Gotcha.
Is the affiliate? You probably can find them on like one of the more obscure, 93 point somethings as well. Like some people just they're syndicated, so they play.
I'll check them out.
But yeah, that's a big freaking deal, man.
It was so cool going up there. The studio was 100% first class. Everybody was cool.
Who was wearing the hat? Like that? Was it the next episode? I saw you post a picture.
Nate.
Okay.
Yeah. So I gave them all swag because I always come bearing gifts, and but you never know what they're going to do with it.
Yeah.
So the next day, he slapped it on, and I was like, definitely getting a clip of that.
That's awesome, man.
So that was really cool.
That's very cool. And you brought us swag. I'm not wearing the white hat because there's a lot of white hat.
Yeah.
But you got the book over your shoulder. We could have. You could always. It's over your shoulder, so that's good enough. I was going to say you can grab it and show it. But how long ago did this book come out?
Book came out February 4th of this year.
And how you doing? How's it doing?
It's good.
Well
man.
received.
Yeah, it's very well received. We've most authors don't end up doing much of anything, and this is my second book actually. And my first book was a colossal failure.
Was it?
Oh, huge.
In what way? Just no, like I mean, because you could have an amazing book but not have the marketing behind it. It could be a great book, but the marketing wasn't there.
It wasn't the greatest book. It was a good book, but
what was that one about?
it was about how to graduate college with no debt, money saved. Exactly.
No, I'm just
Well, not only was it super boring, but it was geared towards college students, and college students don't buy books.
But they're the ones
Critical
who
error.
need it.
They need it, but need is not the determining factor
Yeah,
of what people
that is
should
true.
do.
Yeah,
and
telling
what
a
they
young,
do.
like basically telling a young person how to save or
Yeah, they
like,
don't
that's not,
Yeah.
Talk to me when I'm in my late 30s.
But
my
that's
friend.
also cultural. When I was living in Thailand, my student's girlfriend at 16 wrote basically the same thing, and it was a national bestseller in Thailand.
Really?
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was how to navigate the school system, get the most out of college, and get out of it without having to owe too much.
Unfortunately, our culture does not
Yeah.
subscribe to that.
True.
It's an indictment of the
How to wait in a financial
the
aid line.
U.S. educational system,
Yeah.
basically, right? Wow. So that one was dud.
Yeah, dud. But I learned a ton.
Yeah.
It took 20 years. I had no really intention of writing another book,
Sure.
but I had a scenario we can go into, and the response that I got was organic and huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to do something.
Tell us about it. Tell us what happened.
So, like we mentioned, BNI. I'm in BNI. At the time I was in BNI, I was the educational coordinator.
Sure.
All right. So every week we would have to bring an educational topic. It could be on business, life, anything that like helps members, grow in any area of their life.
Sure.
But fast forward a week prior to that, I'm with my kids. It's during COVID. They're separated from their friends, family. Their happiness is off. Their affect is off. It's just kind of not a great time for a lot of people,
Yeah.
and especially them. So I was like, hey guys, let's see if we can come up with an equation for happiness. It's just out of nowhere. Wasn't planned. I had no idea or intention to do that. But what I was trying to do is trying to like maybe get some ideas through to them, but not give them a lecture so that they have their, defense up and not be
Come on,
receptive.
Dad.
Exactly.
Boring.
Want to play my video games? Right?
Exactly. So we start having that conversation. We're talking. They're throwing out ideas. I'm quarterbacking it. At the end of it, I looked down at what I have. I was like, there's actually something here. This is actually pretty good. So,
Yeah,
but I wasn't really sure.
You are in the insurance industry.
Yeah.
So numbers are numbers and equations already your thing, kind of like.
To a
I wouldn't
degree.
be like, hey, let's figure out the equation here. I'd be like, let's figure out how to do a choke that relates to my.
I'm like a
habit.
philosopher.
I would go like a whole nother route.
Not so much from math. I mean, math is okay. I push math very heavy for my children, and
Okay.
I wish I had been pushed with me.
Yeah.
I'm more of a philosophy kind of a guy.
Okay.
Like, let's get to how and why things tick.
Okay.
And this was kind of just like a backdoor way into it. But I
Sure.
do love math and science and all that stuff.
Okay.
So, we get that very rough version, and I have a week to like review it some more, brush up a little bit, and I take it to my BNI chapter, and I do an educational moment on your happiness equation. And Milton,
At that point, though, are you like, let me see where this goes, or it was just
No.
just the educational moment, and it was gonna be you put it to bed after that. You thought,
I needed something to talk about.
and it takes off and it resonates with the group.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I do it at the end, almost everybody in the chapter. And I know these people. You know how it is.
yeah.
Like, they have no
These
reason
are
to lie to
friends
me.
now, yeah.
They have no reason to blow smoke up my butt. I've done many before, many since, never had that response.
Yeah.
Almost everyone called me, emailed me, texted me about how impactful it was. Some opened up to me, told me things I didn't know was going on in their life or had gone on. I was like, wow, this is pretty impactful. And it kind of struck a chord with me, the response. So I was like, maybe I should do something with this. But then I said, you know what? If I'm going to do something with this, I'm going to do it the right way. And I'm going to really give it a chance to be successful. And just because, I feel this can really help people, and it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to do something, you want to kind of have the feedback of it's appreciated, like people want it,
It's not often that you get to. It doesn't usually happen that way. Like, it normally happens like, I'm going to do this and write this book and let me bring it to them and get people to buy in. Like, it was just kind of, you tripped into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time, it was the culmination of my life, and
Okay.
all the things that I have gone through, the lessons that I learned, and then just tying the things that applied to happiness into the book and the material. And that's kind of how it came.
Very cool. Now we'll get into. Thank you you sent me the YouTube links
Sure.
for the audio.
Yeah.
So I listened to the audio. So
Nice.
I haven't seen. This is the first time I'm seeing, but I haven't seen like is there an actual literal
is an
equation?
actual
Because
equation.
I know you
I
might
listened
read
to
it,
the
but I didn't
introduction.
see
Yeah.
it, so I can't put that visual together for myself right now.
Yeah, yeah.
But there is an actual equation.
It's
What
an
is, what
equation.
is that? Can you explain
Hold
what
on.
the actual equation
Can
is?
we go
Okay.
through it?
Can we go through
Like we should go through this. It's 7 things, right?
7 questions?
So he sent it to me the other day. I only got through like the introduction, and I was
Okay.
like, and you gave a really good like brief explanation, and I was like, okay, how do we quantify this?
Sure.
And I think
There you go.
we were getting I don't know how long of a process it is to go through the 7 basic things, but like you got a computer, I can open up some notes, we can jot some
We got
things
the man
down.
right here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Live in the flesh.
Yeah.
It's 7 really simple questions. They go super deep, and especially if you think about them, they can go very deep. But the first question is, and you can get your score online for your listeners and viewers.
Oh,
They can for free. Don't even have to put an email address in,
Okay.
which everyone in marketing slaps me for not.
Okay. There you go.
But okay, so the idea behind that is I'm trying to make the lowest barrier, the lowest bar, because I'm really trying to help people.
Listen, nothing sells better than free.
You do say
I
that.
say that
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, and it's free.
Nothing sells better than free. Don't overcomplicate it. There is value in the contact info,
Sure.
but there's also value in people telling somebody, "Hey, go to this website, do this," right?
Exactly.
And then get
Ben,
get
it's
some book sales.
yourhappinesseq.com. Yeah. So that's it. So the very first question is, are your basic human needs being met?
Mhm.
Yes or no question. The second question is, do you belong to any groups that are meaningful that meet regularly?
Check and check.
Check. Okay. The third question is, on an A+ to F scale, how would you rate the value to the groups that you belong to?
Okay.
Now, so give some context, and the book goes into context on the website. It's just the questions, but it's the groups that matter to you.
Okay.
So if a group doesn't matter to you, it doesn't matter how you show up.
Sure.
But if a group matters to you, then it matters how you show up.
My groups are the same as yours. I know. It's jiu-jitsu and BNI.
Exactly. Huge for me.
One's- They both help personally.
Exactly.
One is related to work, and the other one is.
but I mean,
totally
do
about my
adults
soul.
really have friends? No, they're adults.
Um,
They have.
We're not friends.
We're friends
As he
through
looks in your
these
eyes.
similar things. I'm saying like outside of like we've put ourselves in communities where we go kind of out of our way to make friends.
That's the idea.
Right. But like how many people you know that aren't in those communities like go out of their way to do it? They don't.
That's kind of the point.
Go out of
Yeah.
the way for what?
Like how many of your friends do you know that just have their wife, their kids, their house?
So
And they don't get involved in any form of
I could say
community?
before, when I moved to Florida, this is before the internet became what it was. I mean, we had like, AOL and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here 26 years. So 26 years ago when I moved to Florida, I lost like all of my friends that I grew up with in New York. And, the guys that I hung with, like we just lost contact because you'd have to call. It wasn't really texting back then. Like Facebook was still a few years away from going from just it was like just for schools, right? You had to have an EDU email to sign up, right? And then until that happened, I mean, I lost contact with everybody and I had to start all new friendships down here. So, but now those same guys, I mean, I see them once in a while, but those things, now we're in text message chains and where, somebody's throwing out a joke daily, stuff like that. So in that way, I've reconnected with old friends, but yes, what's the age, like after 40, you don't really make, do you talk about that in the book?
Not specifically, but I've heard that. statistic before.
After a certain age, like you're not really making,
Like
you
men
really
specifically.
yeah.
Don't make new friends.
But I think because of jiu-jitsu, like I changed schools and I am like actively, I feel like I'm starting relationships with new people. I've met you and we're becoming, you doing this and we're becoming friends.
We hug
and
now.
Yeah, that's good. It's a big milestone.
I was going to mention that, I don't really, when I hug you, I don't really like it that you grab my ass. Like I could do without the.
There's a difference. You said put a finger in, and
wow.
I said no.
All right, no, go back. Let's get back to the guest. All right, so where are we at? We're at number 3 or 4. What did we say?
We did 3. So number 4 is, on an A+ to F scale, how would you rate your gratitude?
Okay. Hey, are we answering these as we go? Should we? Or like
you can if you want.
Okay.
You
Throwing
can
them out.
take the test on yourhappinesseq.com.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, didn't he just mention
He
that?
did
Yes,
just
he
say
did.
it.
Okay.
Go to yourhappinesseq.com while you're watching the show, while you're listening to the show, and do the test
Unless you're driving,
as we go over it. No,
because then you might not be happy.
Hey.
Your numbers might go down.
come on. Let's not stop people from doing what they
Let's
want.
not rob them of their
Pull over, and pull over to the shoulder of 95.
Just hit the brakes
and then
right now.
Throw your hazards on and then go on to happinesseq.com. Go on. We're not moving any books here yet. So
We're getting there. So number 5 is when a meaningful situation does not go as expected, negative impact on your emotions lasts, then you have 3 options: short time, moderate time, long time.
Long time for me with that. It's usually like work-related stuff, so.
Lingers.
Yeah.
Like a dark
stings,
cloud.
Yeah.
That one
Stings
trips
until
me
I
up.
can fix it.
That one trips me up personally,
Really?
and it really impacts me.
I have an
overall
ongoing
score.
something right now with somebody, and I'm like, I got to fix this. Work-related, I'm like, I got to fix this. I want them to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, go on.
Yeah. Number 5. Number 6 is, do you believe your life has a purpose?
Yeah.
And then the 7th and final one is, on an A+ to F scale, how would you rate your progress to achieving your purpose in life?
Okay.
And those are the 7 questions. So the score, because you get a score on a 0 to 100 point scale. And what that score means is, first of all, what it's not is, it's not a measure of your emotional state of happiness at the time you take the test, because clearly none of those correlate to your emotional state at a given point. What it is, it's a measure of the strength of the structures that you have in your life that have the capacity to produce happiness. That's what it is.
And somebody could look at that score and be, I need to focus on this, and you need to do this, and I am part of that group, and I'm not bringing much to the table, like, right? So it's like something that can change. It's not like, let me jump off this bridge because I'm not happy right now.
Definitely
This
not.
is like,
Yeah.
kind of puts it in your face, like, what could I be changing about myself? And just, it makes you think about aspects of your life that the average person isn't just sitting down and going, you know what, I woke up this morning and I'm gonna judge my happiness.
A lot of people think that happiness is just something like external that happens to them. Like either you're born happy or not, or life situations right now make you happy or not. That's kind of problematic. This is actually good news for people. It's like you can actually do stuff to impact your happiness. It takes hard work because, as we all know, anything worth having is worth working for. And there's an element of, sacrifice and hard work that's involved. But if you take the time to build community with people, build relationships with people, to be more intentional about your gratitude, to figure out why you're here on this planet, and then actually take steps towards it, like those things are going to make you happier.
Yeah. Any of those questions stick out to you that you'd want to answer?
I mean, I didn't want to detract from the show, but I would do the test on air.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be a little long.
Exactly.
The one that stuck out to me, what was the exact question?
Meaningful situations not going as expected.
Well, I was going to say,
Having a
they all
purpose.
had meaning, but the purpose was purpose, and most recently, because Academy Save is when I'm like, this is. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but I've said it to people where I was just like, this is why I found jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like, I do believe in like some, somewhat of a grand plan.
Sure.
Everything happens for real. I'm not like, the universe versus saying God, that's me, and I'm like, this is why this all happened because of Academy Save, because that's where I feel like I can really like affect change beyond my own gym, my own family, my this, my that. So that one for me is like, that one is just like,
I could going after it too, which is awesome.
A year ago, I wouldn't have said that. I would have been like, no, I'm freaking helping people with their marketing. It's like, I like doing it and I like helping people, but it's not like, I don't feel like I'm changing the world.
Yeah.
And here I am now. I'm like, at least within martial arts. Yeah, I'm trying to change the world of martial arts, and that's gratifying.
Yeah.
The fact that it's so well received is incredibly gratifying.
The cool thing about what you just said, because a lot of people, when they hear that question, are like, well, I don't really know what mine is. And what I always encourage people, just move in a positive direction. Now, the stuff that you learned doing marketing, how critical is it to the success of Academy Save?
It wouldn't.
And the connections. It wouldn't be possible, probably.
We wouldn't have even been able to do it. It was an idea. The only reason that we were able to move so quickly from the inception in July 2024 to launch November 2024 was because I had the marketing company, because it was just like, take this idea, put it into the marketing machine, logo, website. I had run a nonprofit before related to the podcast called Jiu Jitsu Dummies Foundation, where we were doing scholarships for kids. But at that point, it was just me, and I couldn't handle it. And now I have this marketing company. Like, I did the foundation, I believe, before I had opened my marketing company. So it was just like, I had all the tools to do it because I had owned a marketing company before. So I knew how to get everything done very inexpensively, but throwing this into the machine, my daughter works for the marketing company. So it was just like, she bought into the idea. I made her a recording secretary on the board so she can help out. And it was just like, drop this idea in, and then we were all able to work on it quickly.
Yeah.
What would have taken the average nonprofit maybe like a year, we were done in just a few months.
Huge.
So again, like everything happens for a reason. I needed to have the marketing company. I needed to go through the bumps and bruises and working for other people in order for that to happen. And then, you know, have gone through it one time with another foundation. I was actually on the board of another foundation which I left when I was getting divorced. I just couldn't focus on that and with everything that was going on in my life. And again, like all of those things had to align in order for Academy Safe to be taking off. And then again, even the podcast, everybody that's on the board, I met through the podcast. We're a guest.
That's pretty crazy when you think about it.
They were a guest first. Rob from McDojo, our Joe Scargill, Secret Service agent, Paul Geller, attorney, like big time litigation attorney. Roberto Santiago, who was doing our PR, he's no longer on the board, but he was a listener that helped out. He had gotten us into the Sun Sentinel for the podcast, so like listener that became a friend. He's local. We knew some of the same people. Everybody that's involved. Like I met them here first, and we developed some type of relationship, and it was just like, either they asked, or the funniest one is Paul Geller. When I asked Paul to come on, he goes, like kind of basically, I don't know if he said it took you long enough. He goes, I've been waiting for you to ask. Now you're talking about big time litigation attorneys, sued pharmaceutical companies, Meta, before they were Meta, like Facebook before it was Meta, like billions of dollars in awards. And this guy is on the board. Like I'm like, he was like, about time. He asked me, and I'm just, meanwhile, I'm like, who am I to ask you? You're like this, but the people that are involved are like, we back in New York, we used to say "king ping dingaling." We like you're the king ping dingaling of your industry. Like you are it. You're the guy like that. So Secret Service agent, this guy, that guy, Rob. Rob's got, he's been reactive to what we're trying to be proactive to, right? Reporting about these stories, reporting about bad black belts, reporting about the things that coaches have done to children and women. And here I come with this idea, and I'm like, am I crazy? Like, could we do this? And he's just like, Milt, like people have been asking me to do this for years. He's like, I'm in. What do you need?
That's awesome. So
it's just like, it just happened like that. So again, you can see just from me talking about it, like it's very much, I believe that this is the thing. I'm hoping to hand my marketing company over to my daughter.
Sure.
We're setting it up so that she can take it over. I'll still be involved, but I want to focus on the podcast and Academy Safe, which again, the relationship here, or building the relationships for that. So let me mention, I don't know if you guys saw, we just finalized a deal with Tap Cancer Out.
Oh, really? Congratulations.
They're an official partner of Academy Safe. They're going through the process of getting their team background checked and accredited.
They're a tournament, right?
They're a tournament, traveling tournament. Yeah. Yeah, and they donate millions of dollars to cancer research. You can go do their tournaments. You can raise money to basically pay for that typical fee that you would pay to to be part of a tournament. But there are people that just like are constantly raising money. If you raise over like certain amounts, there's like little prizes that they give, like they'll give you a backpack or a geese, or like things like that. But you could just be raising money. You have like a little fundraiser of your own that you could be sending out links to. And that's just the way it works. And then it's a cool tournament.
That's awesome.
That's cool. Rob from McDojo actually got us through the door over there. So hats off to Rob, who's coming in next Wednesday. It wasn't on our schedule. He at last minute, I don't know if you're available on a Wednesday at 10 a.m. this next Wednesday. If you want to come in, Rob's going to be here to do, we're really going to be talking about Academy Safe. So if you want to come in, I just realized that I didn't put you on the invite. Okay. But anyway.
I can't stop in the middle of wrestling season and just go get a hip replacement is what the doctors want to do. I don't have time to take off. Since going to Leheal, my knee pain is 100% gone. I couldn't even run from here to the door over there. And then after completing the peptide treatment, I can run miles now. Anybody that wants to stay active, anyone that's involved with a sport, anyone that has young kids, and you want to avoid, number one, the cost of surgery, the rehab from surgery, Leheal is the place to go.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
That's a huge deal for us. So thank you to Jonathan over at Tap Cancer Out. They're going through the process. Everybody's getting their background checks done. We already added them to the website. Their listing pages there.
Very cool, man.
Ben is listed there as well.
Yay.
His guys are a little slow with getting some stuff done.
There's a little incompletes going on.
There's some incompletes there, Ben. What's going on? Everyone's passed the background check, from what I understand, so we're good there.
I think it's just a couple of the concussion courses and stuff like that.
More than a couple.
And then getting an
I think
AED.
like everybody has to do the safe sport and the concussion course. Once you do that, the rest of the stuff is easy.
Perfect.
But you guys are listed. You're showing that was listed, but not fully accredited till everything is done. Okay. So, Tap Cancer Out's going through that. And I mean, it opened our eyes to. We actually. They're on the site, so we can talk about this too. I don't think I've mentioned this one. So we have UCLA has like 20 plus martial arts programs. So we've got the director, Paul McCarthy. The director of those programs has approached us, I think, again through Rob. I think they met, and we started talking about like how could we get all 20 plus programs through our process, meaning the coaches, the assistant coaches would do the background checks and blah, blah, blah. So like in their case, like they have one room, they have like one big mat room where all the programs happen. So it's just like there's an AED in that building. There's security cameras. Like those are two of our requirements, but they're not inside the room. So we're working with him on what is the process going to look like for not only UCLA, but other colleges.
Yeah.
Right. So he's, we're getting him through. It's like the end of the year there. So we're not going to do the background checks on staff until we know who that staff is, which we'll know in the summer.
Don't
but
they
before
already
they start,
background check teachers and college
yeah,
staff?
they do. But with the background check is the only thing that I don't care if you just had a background check yesterday with somebody else. We have to do it through our platform.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We in order to take on that responsibility, we can't risk it not having been done by us. Or like, oh yeah, they handed me or gave me a PDF with their background check. No,
yeah,
that one we have to do. If you've done Safe Sport, Safe Sport will tell us that you're logging into our system with the same email, or logging inside of our system is connected to Safe Sport. So if you've done it already, it will record that. Okay. You have to do a continuing ed once a year for Safe Sport, so it'll also tell us when it's time for your continuing ed. So you do the course the first year, and then every year there's going to be a continuing ed, and then like every other year you're doing the full course. So they've got a lot of things, and like a lot of their people are already first aid, CPR, AD certified. So we're just gathering those details. But again, right now we've got him through, like he went through the process. You can go to Find an Academy on our website, and you can see UCLA there. You can see Tap Cancer Out there as well. Nice. So those two things opened our eyes to, we can do for businesses, or tournaments or colleges. So hopefully that model will be the model for other colleges and universities.
Schools would be absolutely massive.
Yeah. So, we have them listed. We have UCLA on, but we haven't made a grand announcement of a partnership or anything like that. Hopefully we'll be able to talk more about it. He's gotten the okay to go through the process, but once we start getting all of the new, it's usually the same coaches, but some of them might change, when we're going through that process in the summer, we'll be able to then really make some announcements like, hey, you can go to our website and find. We actually added classes and club categories, so it's like jiu-jitsu, sambo, Muay Thai. Right now, there's clubs and classes. Oh, cool. There's two other, so it is a little different, right? So you can actually go to, if they have a class, a jiu-jitsu class, like you would go to any, go to school and take a math class or a physics class or an economics class. There are classes, and then there are the clubs. Huh. My stepdaughter goes to UCF. Okay. Laborio's up there. Mm-hmm. So if anybody knows Laborio, tell him we want to talk to him. Rob knows him. He's going to be reaching out. But kind of cool. Like at UCF, Laborio runs I don't know how involved he is with the classes, but he runs the club. Mm. So like that, right? So like he's got a club. Like, let's get you listed on there. And then, you know, for something like that, like people say, well, why do I need to be listed, right? So number one, you're showing, hey, look, I think that martial arts should be safer. I'm supporting this background check, safe sport thing. Let's make sure that everybody's safe and that coaches are,
There's nothing
vetted.
in moral opposition.
Yeah. But
to
we're
any
like,
of the things that are asked for.
So it's like you're showing your support for us, but then we're putting you on a website that a marketing company is advertising. Like then we're putting money behind this to get our listing page found so that people can find you. We post on social media for that. Like as you get accredited, we'll post on social media. And then just like I was telling you before, hey, invite me to collab when you're posting on stuff. I love you're part of the family now. Like, hey, let's put stuff into our feed, So same thing with them. Like those, we're adding stories. They're collabing on our Jiu Jitsu Dummies page, on the Academy Save page. Rob from McDojo is always like adding those to his stories. He's got like 600,000 followers. Kind of a good place to be if you're in the martial arts space. So, man. So, going back, purpose. That's
the passion
and
out,
purpose. Yeah. I mean, it's I think it's a big deal. It's still when you see these stories, when Rob puts out these stories about, things that have happened, in, not even just in this country, around the world. The stuff the stories that he tells me of the things that he's seen that he hasn't even been able to do stories on. It's like, it will blow your mind, the things that have happened,
Nothing shocks me anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, that one resonated with me when you said it. As a matter of fact, like I wrote down when I was listening to the book, I was like, the two chapters, or at least I don't know if you'd call them chapters. Was it evenly broke up into the videos? Was the chapters?
Yeah, each one's a chapter.
Gratitude and purpose were the two that I wrote down that really resonated with me, because found my purpose.
Great.
I believe
It's huge.
And then the attitude of gratitude is just like a huge thing for me. And I think with anybody, you kind of have to remember yourself, like you have to remember to be grateful.
Yeah, it's intentional.
Yeah, you can't. It's like sometimes it's just like it's really easy to be like. The easiest way for me to explain it is this: I was telling Christian that like I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like if something good happens, I'm just like,
Yeah.
What's that? What's yeah,
What's
right.
next?
One for me, one for you, universe. I know what's coming. You're gonna be shoving it up my, So like I have to remind myself to just be grateful and live in that moment and just be, grateful that. And again, I do believe like in the power of the secret and like, laws of attraction. And like, if I am more grateful, sometimes it's hard to remember. So again, you have to practice being grateful.
Yeah,
and practicing gratitude.
There's an element of what you just mentioned that I do, and I think it's healthy to a degree. It's, you don't want to be on the emotional roller coaster of life. So things are going like really well, and you just think this is going to continue forever. Like nothing bad is ever going to happen to me again. And on the flip side, things are going really bad. Things really suck.
Never
Worst
any light at the
time
end
of
of the tunnel.
This is just going to go on forever. So you don't want to be on those ups and downs. Those are super problematic.
Why do I feel attacked right now?
Am I describing you, man? Yeah, you kind of want to be in the middle. Like, so when things are going well, it's like, okay, things are going well right now. I don't know what's coming around the corner. When it does come around the corner, I'll deal with it. I'll get through it. It's going to be fine. I've dealt with things before. I'm going to have to deal with things again. It's life.
Yeah.
And the same thing when things are bad. It's like, okay, this was definitely not good.
Yeah.
This is not good. But you know what? I believe in the law of averages and the law of inertia. So when things are not going well, I say things can't continually go bad forever. It's like a sales principle.
Sure.
I challenge any salesperson to go out and get 100 no's. If you're worth your salt, you're not going to get 100 no's. You're going to get a lot of yeses in that process, And then with inertia, it's like if things are going well, I just tell myself, there's a voice deeper in my head that kind of balances me. But from a salesperson standpoint, it's like, I'm going to ride this train forever.
Sure. Yeah.
And just ride. And then if I get derailed, because inevitably that happens, it's like, okay, all good. Time to reset and keep moving forward.
So I try not to tempt the universe by over celebrating.
Yeah.
Or getting down in the dumps. Like I do believe as long as you have more wins than losses, we're all going to have losses. Like there's never anybody that's like, oh, I've won at everything I've ever done in my whole life. I mean, that number, that percentage is so freaking tiny.
I know a guy.
Ben knows a guy.
But I try not to. In my mind, I try not to tempt the universe by over celebrating because I feel like the universe goes, hey,
watch it.
Hey,
Yeah.
calm down. Even with salespeople, I say we celebrate when the deal comes in. Celebrate for a few minutes, take your victory lap, and then forget that it ever happened.
Exactly.
With sales, you can't live on the high of the last deal. You have to move on to the next one. Okay, it's 0-0 now, right? Yeah, you won one. Okay, but you've got to go in at 0-0, score clock, reset the clock. Everybody's at 0. Now go for the next one, right? So I definitely, I just feel like if I over celebrate or, do too many, no, don't put that energy out there. Just do it and move on.
You overdo it a little. You give one of those, yeah. Whoa.
Like, fuck.
Do you guys remember Fedor? He was a fighter in Pride. He was like 32 on a 32 fight run.
Is that the real way to say his name?
Yeah, Fedor.
How do you say it?
Emelianenko.
It sounded like I would say Fedor.
Yeah.
Oh, you said Fedor.
No, it's Fedor.
Okay,
but
I might have heard it differently. No, but I know that you do all these accents and you do all this stuff. So I'm like, oh, he knows how to really say it.
This man never celebrates. They announce him and he goes,
yeah, his brother's the same way.
Yeah. And like, I kind of subscribe to that stoic thing because every time that I celebrated longer than, like, let's say it took to get out of the ring or the cage, something bit me in the ass.
Yeah.
So now I'm like,
yeah,
good work.
Yeah.
No, it's a great philosophy, man. If you get super jacked on your highs, there's the other side of that coin, So just taking it in stride, you celebrate, for the moment that's appropriate, take that in. It is important to celebrate the good things in life. That's where the gratitude comes into play.
Should we work hard? You got to celebrate.
You got to celebrate. And then you go back to work.
You said something in the book about you reminded yourself, like, I don't know, it was, I may not do it justice, but you were talking about, I think about, like, it could be worse.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like somebody could die. Again, I'm paraphrasing it, but
you're right.
Somebody could die or somebody could be injured or be in the hospital. Like, you want to explain that? Like that portion of the book that you talked about that?
Yeah.
On the way your mind thinks about what we're talking about.
Sure. So I give people like a toolkit that they can use to protect their happiness. Okay. So it's one thing to get happiness, it's another thing to keep it. And as life goes on, your happiness is going to be attacked. It's just the nature of life. So what can you do when these attacks inevitably come? And one of the things you can do is almost without exception of everyone I've ever talked to who's been through crazy stuff. I've personally been through crazy things. I'm sure you guys have been through crazy things. You can look at that scenario and think of how it could have been infinitely worse.
Mm-hmm. But it's hard to do it in the moment.
In the moment, it's hard.
That, like, looking back on it. Like,
so you think, my friend.
Yeah. Am I wrong, right? Like, it's just like, in the moment, you're just so overcome by what's going on in the moment. I don't think I've ever been like this, but this could be worse. I'd be like, fuck, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen.
No,
I might have, like, later look back at that and be like, wow, that could have been worse. I mean, again, maybe that's just the way my mind works, but go on.
Yeah. It's during the process, not in the moment. In the moment, it's like you're experiencing your emotions, you're processing things, understood. But as you're trying to get over it in a healthy way, I'm not talking about rushing through a traumatic event, but now something has happened. It's a reality in your life. You accept that, okay, this is the thing I'm dealing with now. I know that I owe it to myself to be happy. I owe it to my family. I owe it to my, students. I owe it to everybody in my life to get back to a place of happiness. In that moment. It's like, how can you get back to a place of happiness? And that's one of the things you can do. You're like, yeah, this thing happened, but like, my father left when I was 13 years old. That's not good. All right. Could that have been worse? In going through these podcasts, I mentioned I've done about 50 podcasts at this moment. And one of the podcasters said something that I never really thought of. And I've forgiven my father and it's a whole process. But he said he might have left because he didn't know what he was going to do next. And it was better for him to leave than for him to stay and do something that was irreversible. And I was like, man, that's true. I never thought of that. It's possible. I don't know if it's true, but it's possible.
He said that. He said that?
The podcaster that I was talking to said, maybe your dad left because he was on the verge of doing something. And I talk about some of the things in the book, and they're really bad. And thank God he didn't carry some of it out. But maybe he was like, man, I don't know how much longer I can keep this. Okay. And he was like, I'm just going to leave. And, I found more grace for him in that, in thinking of how could this have been worse? A really bad thing could have been worse. Yeah. We later reconciled, kind of like a deathbed reconciliation. Yeah. But I said my piece. He said his piece. I have always wished nothing but the best for him. And I have hopes that I'll see him again. But there was that time, and there was a way that I think about it, like, man, how could this have been worse? It could have been.
Wow. That's deep.
Ben? Some comic relief would be great right now.
It can always get worse, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I do, I guess, like, when I think about that, for me, it could always be worse, could be like, could have dropped dead. Like, and I can't come back from this.
Exactly.
I had a heart attack 8 years ago. Could have been worse. I could have died.
Yeah.
I told my girlfriend this yesterday. I said, I'm so affected when a client doesn't happen often, but when a client expresses unhappiness, or like, hey, I need this thing, or like, we just can't get it done that quick. Like, I'm affected by that. If a client isn't happy, like, I'm going to figure out how to make them happy. I'm going to give them something. We're going to do something to turn that around. And it usually just take like, okay, deliver on what you said you're going to do. But there are some clients that want a little bit more, or, hey, doesn't happen often, but you do have clients like that. So like, I'm very much affected, and I'm learning how to shut that off. I think you touch on this a bit, but like, I take that home with me. Yeah. But I'm home. I'm usually working out of the house. Home, I'm, we're remote. So, I'm usually home. So it's just like, I'm in my office and then I come out. It's hard to like, there's no ride home. There's no blast the music and kind of forget about it. Like, there's no, jiu-jitsu is that thing for me though. Like, when I go to jiu-jitsu, I forgot about that client. Like, by the end of that, like, it's just like, it's like etch a sketch. It's just shake it off, right?
You at least get an hour or two of relief.
But when I don't go, if I don't go to jiu-jitsu that night, or I don't go work out, or I don't do something, that energy is there, but it's like I went from the office to the couch. Yeah. So there's no like, there's no etch a sketch moment. There's no jiu-jitsu moment unless I actually go to jiu-jitsu. So, most people would, my girlfriend, she has that annoying client at work, and then she gets in the car and she goes home and she listens to freaking, all her crazy, her girly music or whatever. And, by the time she gets home, she's shaking it off. Like, yeah, I was feeling, but that hour drive home, half-hour drive home, depending on where she's coming from, right? Yeah. I don't have that. So again, sometimes she'll come over and she'll be, you can see, like, did you have I had a good day. Or if I had a bad day, I wear it. Yeah. I've recognized that I wear the highs and the low. Like, my evening is dictated by how good the day was.
Yeah.
But it's very, very hard. But that's why I have to do as much. Like, I'm at least 5 days a week. It's jiu-jitsu weights. Right? Yeah. So I have to do one of those things to have that etch a sketch moment. If not,
it
gets a little messy.
The good thing is you're aware of it. Yeah. Because a lot of people, they'll have these emotions, these experiences, and they don't know why. They kind of maybe somewhere in the back of their mind know, but when you can like name something and have an awareness of it, that is huge. Because once you can do that, now you can, if you want to like improve in this area, you can start doing something about it. Now, you have jiu-jitsu, you have lifting and all of that, which is great, huge. Like, that is awesome. And I actually recommend people have physical activity to like get through some of this, through some of the challenges of life. So, you know, once you have an awareness of it, now you can start to figure out, okay, well, if I'm feeling this way right now, and it's, you know, I already worked out this morning and jiu-jitsu is tomorrow, not tonight. Like, all right, you know, you can decide, well, maybe I need to go for a walk. Maybe I need to just do something to blow off the steam. And that could be huge.
Yeah. We talked about gratitude. We talked about purpose. There was a quote in the book. I've been using this. Somebody said this to me on an episode, and I've used it in business, and I use it to kind of just when I'm coaching or maybe mentoring somebody. Yeah. I would say, especially for clients, probably more than anything, grow where you're planted. Yeah. You know, like when we're talking about a marketing program, if you are in Fort Lauderdale, let's do the marketing in and around Fort Lauderdale, even if it's not like a service base, like you sell something that, you can ship anywhere in the country, but would people around you like to buy this? Like, let's grow where you're planted. Like maybe let's get you into some shows and some, convention, like when the conventions come to town, like maybe you should be setting up booths and you should be doing stuff locally and let it grow out there. You said grow where you bloom.
Bloom where you're planted.
Bloom where you're planted. Is that basically my guy? Okay, so I guess my guy added the grow where you're planted, but it's the same concept.
I mean,
I didn't look it up yet. Yeah, I was just like
fact checker
because I thought it was like his. I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm going to steal that, and I've used it. I've never looked it up to see if it was anything beyond that. But when you said grow where bloom where you grow, I was like, oh, he's got that wrong. It's grow where you're planted.
There's probably a million variations.
But it's a French proverb. You said?
Yeah, it is. Okay. It is. But the thing is, like, truth permeates time and societies and cultures. You're gonna run across the same ideas over and over again if you read and you talk to people and so on. But that kind of ties back to what we were talking about earlier. It's like you found your purpose ultimately, but while you were en route to that, you were blooming in marketing. You were making connections. You were learning information that ultimately help you with what you feel your purpose is. And that's the point that I bring that up in the book. It's like, you may not know what you are here for, and that's completely cool. Mm-hmm. But where are you? Where do you show up right now in your family, in your academy, in your business, wherever? It's like, do the best you can there to be as impactful, as helpful as you can. And in doing that, you're going to inevitably come across that thing that you felt you were put here for. Sure. And you're just going to be that much more equipped to be effective in that.
So let's tie this into jiu-jitsu now. You are trained where?
Maddox Academy, Davie, Florida.
Purple belt?
Purple belt.
How long you been training now?
6 years.
Okay. You talk about the section of the book where you talk about tribes.
Yeah.
You have, I think we both, really, the two tribes that I guess you can have like the family tribe as well, though, right? Sure. Yes. But like, I guess the outside groups, the tribes that you have are the same as, right? It's BNI and Jiu-Jitsu, right?
BNI Jiu-Jitsu, I have one other one. It's a mastermind group that I'm in.
One of my favorite, I mean, are your BNIs all in person?
Yeah, all in person.
So I'm I told you, I'm in a hybrid, 1 in person, 3 online. So like, I love the first Thursday.
Of course.
I love the first Thursday. I hate getting up that early. But once I'm there, I'm like, I love that I get to meet with everybody and see, and it's not just the computer.
So is BNI similar to like a Chamber of Commerce group?
I'm going to let the guy that's been in it 15 years,
It's similar in the respect that you're networking with people, and you're meeting people physically, and you're talking, and you're trying to help each other with business. But it's completely opposite to the Chamber in that in BNI, there's only one person per profession. So if you joined a chapter as an academy owner, they're not going to admit another academy owner, who is now like your competitor is there with you. Okay. Now in the chamber, that's going to happen. You're going to have people of multiple business categories all in the same room. And that could be, good in some respects, but when you're trying to develop long-term meaningful relationships, having your competitor constantly talk to your referral sources is just not a way to have long-term growth.
Yeah.
You imagine that, like you being in a group where it's like it's like jiu-jitsu and karate and other martial arts disciplines. It's like, hey, we overlap, and there's a guy over there has a referral. Hey, I know my wife's friend is looking for an academy. Okay, here, talk to all 3 of these guys, or would you just talk to the one?
It's because it's locational and
so it's I mean, like
Charlie, Josh, and myself are all in Maya. Yeah, but Charlie's in Coconut Creek. Josh is in St. Augustine. I'm in Palm Beach. We have no overlap.
Yeah, industries are like, for us, it's like every industry is represented by one person.
Okay.
And then the idea is like, if there's a real estate person in my group, if my parents are going to sell their house, I
Gotcha.
say, hey, put them together. I refer my parents to the real estate agent.
So does BNI have a branch in Palm Beach? They actually
Everywhere.
followed
They're
me.
worldwide.
Everywhere, yeah.
They followed me yesterday, and I reached out to
That was
them.
probably me.
Okay.
Oh, that's probably me.
Oh, the BNI account?
Yeah. Mine is BNI Top Tier in Broward.
No.
I know that I liked your stuff.
Oh, okay.
I handle the BNI account. We do the social media for my group.
Oh, okay.
And I know that I like.
Then it was probably you.
Yeah.
I thought I was getting special.
No, but
You are
I
special,
would
Ben.
I would
Thank you.
recommend. I don't know if you have more insight for martial arts academies in BNI. I still think you're networking, and there how many you get it now where somebody's just like, oh, I know somebody who's looking for like martial arts for their kid, and so you're networking. The idea is if I'll call it like your responsibility. I call it fulfilling my obligations. Your obligation to the group is to potentially bring in other people to represent, certain categories. Your responsibility, or you should be bringing referrals. So you should be referring, and you've got to meet with, right? So like those are the core responsibilities. And then again, we also handle the social media for any of the groups that we're in. Brandy wants to take over the social media. I don't think anybody's doing it, but she is like an events coordinator, but she's looking at taking over. We talked about it yesterday that she wants to do the social media for the group. So like those are my responsibilities. For me, I'm very lucky because I have my marketing company and they do the designs, posts, schedule out, right? But my job is to refer business to other people. I refer a lot to our photographer. I'm building somebody's website. I'm doing the social media. I send out I say, hey, we need more assets. Do you have? No, here, meet my photographer.
So
he can come out.
I know, like Chamber
and
of
that's
Commerce,
a referral.
I know, like Chamber of Commerce has like a $800 a year investment. Is BNI structured similarly?
Yeah. Okay. It's at a little over $1,000 a year now, at least down here. In,
$1,100.
we're in the South Florida market. I know that like West Palm Beach is part of a different market.
I mean, we're South Florida.
We're Broward, Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
It's like different franchises have different prices.
Like so like different franchises. It's still BNI, but there are people that regionally run that region's BNI. Highly recommended. I think it's a great thing to do. You have to put in the time though. You have to put in. You're also one of your responsibilities is also to do what we call one-to-ones. So getting on, going to lunch, going to have a coffee after a meeting. Maybe you grab somebody, you go sit down, you get to know each other a little bit better. The whole idea is to know, like, and trust the other person before you actually give them referrals, right? That if I know, like, and trust you, that I'm like, hey, bro, talk about your fight raps, right? Like,
What
like
if you
that has to
don't
happen.
like or trust the
You're not going to be
people in your
giving them
group?
any referrals, but you might get your estate planning done with the estate planning attorney. You might have a business issue that you need a business attorney for.
Yeah, you don't have to like everybody in the chapter.
Okay.
And
It's like anything. You're not going to like everybody.
I've been in BNI 13 years. There have been people that I don't like that have been in my chapter. And it's like, okay, well, I don't like them. They maybe don't like me. It's like, we're probably never going to pass business between each other. And that's fine because there's 39 other people.
Oh, okay.
You know?
So these aren't small.
And if I don't like I'm just using this as an example. If I don't like the real estate agent in my group, but I still want to kind of get credit we're not passing money to each other. We're not giving each other commissions. But I might say, but I love the real estate agent in my last group.
Yeah.
Or I met a real estate agent in passing that is in another group, BNI, but in another group. I can pass business to anybody globally, go on the app, find somebody, or I could be passing a referral outside of my group, but still keep it within BNI. So you kind of get credit for those things.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay, so you specifically want to do it through. I do a
You
lot
do
of
it through the app,
referring,
yeah.
but it's typically like direct text, direct email. But I'm assuming if you're in a group like this, you kind of want to log it.
Yeah, they track
Yeah,
everything.
there's an app. There's an app. They log everything.
It's a full
like
business.
your one-to-ones. Okay, I had a one-to-one with Leighton. I'm gonna put it in the app. I'm gonna get
Will
credit
this
for
count
it.
as a one-to-one?
I actually thought about it. I was just like, I'm gonna since Leighton's been in longer, I'm gonna say let's call it a one. We're talking
business.
BNI, right?
We're talking about BNI. We're probably doing more for BNI right
Yeah. Right.
any one-to-one ever.
Whoa.
So
Are they sponsoring the show?
Let's not say it here so that they're like, hey, that was a party. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
But you have responsibilities. So I've had as many as 4 seats 4 employees in 4 different seats.
I have one. In another chapter.
My daughter's just expired, and she does most of our production side. She's not really a salesperson. So I had her go in. We were going to do the nonprofit seat in her group and switch her over to Academy Safe. But time-wise, her time is better spent just focusing on the delivery of our product, which is like what we call production. I had one salesperson leave. He's going to be part-time, so he's not in BNI, but he's still going to other networking groups. And then down here, it's me and Brandy, and we have a new salesperson that she's training who we're trying to find her an all in person. Sure. So I went from 4 to 2, but we're going to hopefully have 3. I don't buy leads for my salespeople. They go to BNI, they network, they get their leads. We do our marketing and get call-ins and emails and contact. We get that, and I distribute them. And then referral, like what happens is referrals give referrals.
Yeah.
I'm like 3, 4, in some cases 5 deep on a referral that I got year 1.
That's amazing.
Who then, you referred me to Leighton. Leighton referred me to his sister. His sister referred me to, her best friend, right? Like that.
Yeah.
And we track those as well in the app.
I'm trying to build a referral culture in my gym.
Yeah.
It was never like a thing we had before. Like, why not?
So did you do the Biz Jitsu podcast yet?
No.
Biz Jitsu? No?
No.
Both I would recommend both of you. You don't I just built their website, but they've been doing a podcast for bizjitsu.com. bizjitsupodcast.com is friends of mine, Vince, and his partner is a chiropractor. Vince is like a franchise expert. But they do this because they're doing that. The name was escaping me. Archie. It's Archie and Vince. You should both be doing their podcast.
Okay.
For sure.
It's
I'm
like,
down.
it's with that in mind, it's just like the referral nature of, you own a business. Let's help you meet. Let's talk about your business and help you meet. So just, I usually, like, if I'm interviewing somebody, I'm like, they're a good fit. I'm usually like, after the podcast comes out so that they don't launch theirs before mine. Like, hey, you should really check out the last podcast. You should have them on. And I put you together in either a text or an IG. Super nice, super sweet guys, both jiu-jitsu practitioners, obviously, and out in California. So it would be Zoom unless you're flying out. And but yeah, I'm surprised that I didn't tell you to do that, but Vince knows. Vince listens and watches. So yeah, you should both do that.
And I think BNI could be good for academy owners, for those who are listening, or anyone. You have to do it in a certain way because you're not necessarily going to ask for like a very specific thing, and like if you're trying to build a very specific program, it may not do exactly that. But if you have multiple things that you offer, like you have a kids program, you have an adult program, you have women's self-defense, you have check. You do.
He has the benefit of doing. He does. It's American Top Team, so he's doing stand-up. He's doing
all that.
He's doing gi, no gi, right?
Yeah. If you put all of that out, you're going to be able to connect with people on that. They're going to be able to.
That's what I'm talking about. That sounds
privates, like you're doing privates, or even personal training privates. Like there's a plethora of opportunity there for anybody who's listening. So I highly recommend BNI.
For anyone who has a subscription model, you're doing insurance, right? So you're getting a pay, I don't know what your commission structure is like, but like for me, our marketing programs are mostly monthly pay unless somebody buys a website outright. That's finite. There's a payment that ends, but then maybe they're still doing hosting. But most of the time people are buying a marketing program. So they're paying me every single month. So, I might just get one referral this month, but that referral times 12.
Yeah, for the length of your average client base.
It's like it's a nice it's a nice payday.
Yeah, it's great.
I have referrals. I have clients still today from my very first year in BNI.
What kind of insurance do you do?
I do business insurance primarily, but we also do personal lines insurance too. I know. I've seen the podcast. I felt this might come up.
We need to talk about Academy Safe. Yeah. One of the reasons I added the insurance element because Academy's. I had an insurance. I'll tell you off air. I'm not going to give him any shine because he
ghosted
me.
I heard the story.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm like, I would love to have somebody that we can recommend. It would be great to have somebody. It's usually not the case that they can do insurance in all 50 states.
No,
right.
I mean, if the opportunity was significant enough, I can do it. But if it was a small thing, it would be. But you know what I can do is if someone ever comes to me and I'm not in that state, but between BNI and between my insurance specific networks that I'm in, I will find someone for them that I will co-sign to the extent of, this person is a professional, they're licensed,
Okay.
they're in a group that I'm in. It's better than just calling someone randomly.
Is it do you work for a company or is it your insurance company?
The agency owner.
You're I like that more than being in a, just a broker. Yeah, we need to talk. We don't have anybody to refer when insurance comes up. I'll tell you who it is off air. And it was just like, what a perfect fit. If you heard the domain name, you'd be like, what better fit is that? Like, freaking amazing.
It wasn't meant to be.
I even said, hey, you've got this that's specific to jiu-jitsu. Like, go buy this one that says martial art. Like, we'll talk about it.
Sure.
Because it would be perfect to just, again, you said you've heard, but I'll say it here. Like,
and I'm sure
agency owners, one of the first things they let go, or when they want to save money, is they let the insurance go. Present company excluded.
It's just insane to me.
Yeah,
to even hear that.
But they let it go. I mean, it's just like somebody being like, "Well, I let my car insurance lapse." When he told me like, "Hey, you should add this," it wasn't part of our 8 points. We had 7 things that we were doing, and he was just like, convinced me. Oh, it is that important. And then like some of the first academies that we worked with were like, hey, yeah, we got to renew and I'll get it to you.
That's crazy.
And I was just like,
so nuts. Thank
you, buddy. And then he goes to us like, I have all this business to send you. And now I'm just like, not everybody's coming to me because I would potentially use my network, but I'm not. Sure. I have an onboarding person doing. Brandy's like our onboarder for Academy Safe as well. So she's working for Black Belt, and she specifically is doing the onboarding. So I kind of didn't even. We haven't even talked about it. I didn't even think to really say like, hey, find them a BNI and get the referral out of it. Yeah. But if we had somebody, which it sounds like this would be a good fit. Yeah, it'd be great to refer. I mean, we have like an AED company, right? We have other people that we're referring. If our main AD company is too expensive, we have another like a refurbished, a link to a company that does refurbish. So like we're trying to look at, we're asking people to do most of the things we're asking them to do, they should do already. The cameras and the AED are kind of like the things like, I don't really have to do that, but it is good for me to do it as an agency owner. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, everything else is like, you should be doing this. You should be doing a background check, safe sport. How's that going to hurt you?
With the cameras, like if you don't have a camera in your school, what are you hiding?
Yeah.
Like even just for your own security, because like it's not like we're a storefront where we have like theft prevention or this or that. Like it's just a gym. People can do stuff. You should have it just for that.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been doing commercial insurance for 20 years. Own my own agency for 13. I've seen all the crazy claims that you can possibly imagine. I don't. I do insure a couple academies, but I by and large insure like other businesses, and sometimes that camera will save your ass.
Do you do, for somebody like me that's offering virtual services primarily, like for a marketing company?
Yeah, for what you're doing, your biggest exposure is like errors and omissions. It's not like a slip and fall. There's not someone who's going to physically hurt themselves with your
talk about that
with your business.
I'd definitely like to.
But you have a different exposure.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that. It's on my list. But yeah, that's awesome. But going back to the BNI like this, it's a good place to be. You have to put in time. Don't think that you're going to the first meeting and you're like, got 5 new students today. It's not that.
Yeah, it's not that.
I mean, that would be unrealistic.
Yeah.
But because you have all other things going on as well, so I'm going to give you like a for instance. For me, I'm the digital marketer in the group, and there's nobody else that does anything close to what we do. So digital marketing is there's a huge umbrella, right? It's website design, Google Ads, social media. We do graphics. I was the promo print guy until we got a promo person in. Then I'd stop talking about that. If we got a graphic designer, I would stop talking about that. I would fight for, be like, well, kind of like website design and SEO. Like we build a website and help you get found. So like those are the two most closely related that I would be like, hey, look, I don't really want anybody else in those. That's digital marketing, but it could be broken down further. So like for you, it's unlikely that there's going to be like a fight rap person, right? Like you're the MMA guy. And then you have a t-shirt company, you have this. So like, as long as you're not like, let's say there was a t-shirt person in there that did like like
Screen
maybe
printing.
you screen print, maybe you use them, right? Now you're giving yourself as a referral. Maybe you get cheaper pricing than you are now, right? Like, right? That's one way. But you could be talking about those things. Now, there's not going to be like 15 other martial arts people in the group. So like
I strongly doubt any niche that I'm in,
You're the good.
okay.
But you just never, like, there's value in it for you
Yeah.
to find out, right? So next year.
I was entertaining Chamber of Commerce. I have a couple friends that are in it, and they're like, the networking's fantastic. And they've been in it now like 7, 8, 9 months. And they're like, not a single referral, but, you know, they're in medical. So like, I did meet some lawyers. I met some MRI people, but it hasn't turned into.
So in BNI, I hate to use the word require, but you're required. Your job.
It's an expectation.
Is an expectation, right? I call it fulfilling my obligations. My obligation is to bring a referral once a week. Like to refer to somebody.
Like I do a lot of referring, and the gym is the reason. I've got 100 and something people.
If you told your guys, like, hey, if you guys need it, like, you could specifically go search for something and be like, hey, for all the business owners in here, I know some of the old timers. I just met a guy this weekend, Leighton Campbell. He wrote a book, but he's an insurance agent. Like, let me know if anybody needs anything. I'd love to put you guys together. Yeah. And somebody's going to go, oh, you know what? I was looking for, and now, boom, that's a referral.
I get a lot of my referrals from my fellow teammates. Yeah. They're like, hey, I need something. And I'm known as the guy in my academy. Like, you come to me, I can find you somebody.
Yeah, I am that guy. Yeah. I'm 100% that
Everybody knows somebody. Like, all of those. If now you get to present, we do it for 1 minute. We get to talk about our company for 1 minute. There are some other things that you do that you get to talk about yourself, but you're going to talk about yourself for 1 minute. Every member is probably going to be at a minute, depending on the size of the group. And you're going to get to tell everybody who you are, what you do, what you own. Really, let's say focus on the academy. Every week, once a week, you get, whether it's in person, I do virtual and in person. So I would definitely recommend for you, I would do a hybrid because you have so much going on. Like, so just like meeting once or twice a month, and then the others are on Zoom, so you can kind of get back to it. Yeah. I know Leighton will probably be like, no, do the all in person. I get that.
You were saying they were very early. Like, how early are we talking?
They're throughout the day. There's some that do breakfast and some that do my first group was a lunch meeting. We started at 11:30. I love that. That's now beautiful. I'm up at. And now it's 8 o'clock on a Thursday.
Come August, I have to my daughter to school by like 7:30.
What you would be doing though is this, right? So you'd be talking about your company, and you're at some point in there, you're going to tell people your ask. So you're going to tell people, I want you to introduce me to that mom that's looking to get little Johnny, that's 7, 8, 9 years old. They've been getting bullied at school. I want to speak to her. That's the person I want, right? And obviously in your area, like you're meeting with businesses in and around your area. So you're very specifically presenting your ask. If it was something else, like I really, coaches. Like I want to talk to this coach, that coach. Maybe you're focusing on the hand. I want to meet other academy owners that you know, or anybody that you know that does any type of fighting discipline or that trains anything, because maybe you want to further the fight reps. I haven't met anybody that's in there for their academy, so I can't tell you like the numbers.
I have so many buns and ovens that I'm sure something will overlap.
Yeah. And again, like if that, like I know some of the other things that you have going on, I would be like, go in there as the academy, and then you have these other things that are related to the academy.
Academy is always my number one.
Yeah. Now I don't know, like your wife is involved with the academy, right? She
helps me in my program.
It doesn't have to be you.
Yeah.
Could be her.
I think I excel in chatting. She excels in bureaucracy, planning. Yeah. But like, I don't have an office structuring, like the understanding of some people's frailties, I guess, in those settings. And I can be a lot. So
can't see it.
No way. So I think like when we were doing Chamber of Commerce, I'm like, this is a you thing for sure.
But does she go out and would she talk to 15 different people in an hour?
We went trick-or-treating.
Will she do that?
And she brought like 500 flyers and literally was passing out candy to the people passing out candy. She's a gangster.
Okay, so she's good at that. That she would be great for the BNI. I know what you have going on, and I think that you would be overwhelmed by it. You'd be like, I got to do this. I got a class to teach. I got to go to this podcast. I got to do this.
I'll find my referrals in class.
Yeah.
Like, it always.
But you could feed her those referrals that she can help get people. And then again, look, the idea is that we want to know, like, and trust each other. But we say that all the time. Once people know, like that Ben He's so funny. He's so good to be around.
And good looking.
They're thinking about you when they go to the family party or Christmas Eve, and little Johnny's walking around and he's touching everything and he's so undisciplined. And then he's just like, let me talk to his mom about getting little Johnny into a martial arts class, right?
I got a guy.
Yeah, it's that. You like, I'm the guy that you want to be the guy that people come to and say, hey, do you know somebody that could paint my house? Do you know somebody that does blinds? Do you know somebody that can help me with my like, you become that person. He says he's that guy in the academy. If you're that guy, you're going to be great at distributing referrals because you're helping those people. They're also going to ask you for other stuff, right? On both sides, right? The person you helped,
and then remind me, I might have a tough one for you.
What's that?
We'll talk.
Oh, okay. Off air.
So
okay.
let's let me do a couple of little shout outs here. We kind of skipped to the end here. We talked about Academy Safe. I went to Leheal. I went to Leheal Biogenix
Yesterday?
in Tampa over the weekend. Okay. Me and Bo took a ride up. We went to Leheal during the day, in the morning. Mm-hmm. We stuck around Tampa. We went to a place called Hyde Park. We had lunch. Very nice up there. I don't know if you know that area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful.
Really nice. They had a little like area where we'd go have lunch, and it's kind of like a little hidden off the road. And we went down the road, and I was like, oh, look, this is so cool, all these restaurants. And then we like made a turn, and then we felt like it was just like, oh,
nice.
Stores, people playing on the grass, their dogs and kids. Like, it was really nice. So we ate over there, and then we went over to Kissimmee, and we got to watch Combat Night.
Yes, sir.
Which he's a commentator for Combat Night. So we got a couple pictures, good fights.
Yes, sir.
It was a very long day. We left before the main event. We were all tired.
Yeah.
I slept like three hours the night before, and drove up from here to Tampa. So 3.5, close to 4 hours, with Bo. Hey, Bo. Yeah, just kidding. But yeah, so it was a long night by the time we wound up leaving.
For sure.
How did the main event go off? Was it a good fight?
It was a solid fight. Two wily veterans. It was very much stalematey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But it was very cool to see you in action.
Yeah. It was great to have you guys there.
We were like, where's Ben? we wanted to get.
It was a MMA show, MMA, kickboxing. They do
Combat Night MMA on Instagram.
Not as often. Yeah.
Mitchell.
Yes.
When is he coming on? He's coming on. We've got him
23rd.
scheduled. Is it this month?
Wednesday
April?
the 23rd. We have fights in Fort Lauderdale the 26th. Okay. So I think we have scheduled for the Wednesday of fight week.
Okay. But is it April or May?
April 23.
It is April. Okay, I got to look at the schedule. Let me just double check. So yeah, a lot of fun, but went up to Leheal. Mm-hmm. I started off with red light therapy. You stand in front of this, like 2 light boards.
Naked?
Underwear.
Naked.
Nice.
I left my underwear on. I didn't want to burn my pipper.
Did you say your pepper?
My pipper.
Pipper.
So definitely it's supposed to help with like skin and
your skin's lovely.
Thank you.
It does look good.
50. This is what 52 looks like.
Pretty good.
Then they did a red light therapy, so a little bit more like shooting like lasers into my back, which was really cool. I focused on my lower back. And then we had got stem cell shots with exosomes in them as well as like a little cocktail.
Did you do direct or did you do IV?
Direct, no IV. They offer IV. I didn't do IV. And that was this weekend, so just one weekend.
And how are you feeling?
Taking it easy. I feel okay. No swelling, no side effects. Got to wait. I've been not supposed to work out heavy.
Did you get the direct injections to your back, knees?
Back.
Yeah, definitely.
All over my back.
2 months, you're not working out heavy at all.
Well, they also said like the doctor called me. I will paraphrase. So if you've gotten stem cells, do not listen to me. Talk to your doctor or whoever you worked with. Because I didn't do the IV, she said just watch out for your back area, right? If I had done the IV, they'd be like definitely like way longer. To like not to be no jiu-jitsu, light exercise. But she basically told me, she's like, give it 2 weeks, you'll be okay to go back to working out. Still watch out for jiu-jitsu, very light with jiu-jitsu, but you can work out. Don't overexert yourself. Because basically it's like, what she's saying is, let's just say I hurt my arm, hurt my elbow. The stem cell injections that they gave me are going to search. They're going to go, oh, let's go here and fix that and not fix the thing that you're trying to get fixed, right? So basically it's don't get injured.
Yeah.
So stay off the mat, stay off the. Again, different from what I understand, different if I would have gotten the IV. Exactly why, but definitely I would have been off the mat for longer. So she did tell me, she's like, just give it 2 weeks. I did lose like a few pounds because I'm not working out. And then it's like no bread, no snacks. Like,
You
yeah,
just
they
chose?
gave me a diet. No, they gave, they're like for the foreseeable
Was
future.
it like raw vegan?
It was basically like eat whole foods, but they were very specific things like foods that would cause inflammation in your body, like gone. So it's like anything high sugar, again, breads, no snacks, no.
So beyond therapy, they also focus on torture.
Yeah, I'm like, I had an egg sandwich this morning. I couldn't take it anymore, so I had
egg
2 little
sandwiches.
slices of bread with a nice egg sandwich. So it was great. It's they don't it's been 6 days, 5 days. Today's 6 days. So they were amazing. I got to meet Stacy, the owner, Nathan, her husband. We went to the fights. It was just an amazing experience. It was very cool. Went up. We got some content. We filmed up there as well. So, and they got us the tickets to Combat Night. So thank you to Nathan and Stacy. I've invited them down. We're going to schedule them for June. Stacy's going to come down with actually one of their. I think he's an academy owner who's also a patient.
Wonderful.
He's been a patient for a while, so they're going to come down and talk about not only Leheal, but they'll talk about his therapies. This is really cool. I'm
Awesome.
super happy.
I'm excited to see what your results are.
Yeah, I'm dying to see that as well, and I got a bunch of little other owies that I can get some.
When do you see
shots
the full
for.
effects of it?
I mean, it's so.
Everyone's a
I'll
little
use the
different.
example. Stacy had, I believe, she tore her ACL. She got stem cells. She was back to running 5 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's good to know.
yeah.
They're
And I don't know that she did more or less than what I did. So that was one of the
But
examples they
that's
gave.
even possible.
Yeah.
It's good to know that exists.
I am going to go
In Florida.
on the I definitely doing the BPC 157. They
Are
have
you
that.
stacking it with the TB500?
That's the other one.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
the good
So I
stuff.
just have to place that order, and they'll get it to me, and I will self-inject. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that probably next week. So they were like, definitely stack these with what you're doing. Like, you're going to feel freaking great. So I'm
You're gonna be a
excited. I'm still like in the beginning. This is week 1.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. But they were amazing. You can check them out. Leheal Biogenix. They'll if you're not in the area, you're not in Florida, don't worry. They will do a like a telemed visit. You can meet with them on Zoom, on a video chat. But you can set up your consultation at leheal.com, LEHEAL.com. If you mention the podcast, you get 20% off your first treatment.
That's fantastic.
Right? Yeah, very cool. Who else do we want to shout out? Leao. How do you say it?
Classes time.
Leo,
Leao. I gotta put them on.
law enforcement
Smooth.
officer.
That's smooth.
I gotta get more glasses. I've had a bunch that I would give out to guests, but Ben's
Very nice.
wife stole a pair that Ben doesn't wear, and so he didn't.
No,
come in.
I've reacquired.
He's not.
I have reacquired. I didn't bring
You gotta
them.
put them. Okay. Leo Optics. You can check out Leo Optics at leooptics.com. You can use code JJD for 10% off your order. They have these really cool bamboo sunglasses. Right, I love the little.
Smooth.
You can get a purple belt here.
Hey, I can.
What?
Wow.
Well, are you how close are you to brown? Is it,
I got it.
Don't jinx them. Don't jinx
you got a
them.
couple years? Okay, so
Yeah,
then you
couple
get the purple. But yeah, they'll do. You just have to when you order, you have to ask them
Let's get
to
2.
your stripe. What's that?
And 3. I'll get 2 and 3.
I
One for each.
no,
one. No.
don't do that. I feel like that jinxes stuff.
Ah, okay.
I
like making your
I-
logo a black belt.
what'd you say?
Like making your logo a black belt.
Oh yeah, right. A little different. I'm talking about like buying stuff with like buying a rash guard with the next color on
I'm
it.
gonna be a brown
Hold
belt
on.
soon. I'll just buy this rash guard.
I
that's on
bought
sale.
one brown belt thing going.
How long could it be?
Yeah.
7
COVID?
years later.
Yeah.
I blow out my
COVID's
knee
your
the
fault?
day before. The day.
This guy caused it.
Unbelievable.
The day before.
No way.
We went into hibernation with the what do they call it? We went into
The lockdown.
Lockdown.
Quarantine. Yeah.
lockdown. That Sunday
Jeez.
before my first day of work was just like everybody stay home. Like we put
I mean,
everything
if
was
you think about it, timing-wise.
blew out my knee. Coach,
That's true.
Coach didn't tap and decided to like wrench my leg.
Oof.
Yeah, asshole. And wound up not training. So I couldn't train for most of COVID. I think like after 9 months I went back, and then it was kind of like things started to open up a little bit.
So don't pre-buy your colored belt.
I bought
jinx
merch.
it.
I watched that freaking rash guard hang in my closet. I was like, you did this to me.
Should have burned it.
Son of a bitch. So I'm like like I would never buy anything for that. Now black, now it's like black belt is
Yeah.
all right, no big deal.
It's just a matter of
But
time.
That's good advice. I'm going to take you up on
don't ever buy the net, like it's coming soon.
that. Yeah.
Don't do
It's
that.
like with my commission checks. I don't even think about it. I was like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I don't really care. I'm just going to do the best I can.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those situations. So Leheal Optics, very cool. Love them. They've been great to us. We've actually worked with Lionel, one of the owners over there, on some of his marketing for his power wash company as well. So, what else do we have? Who are we missing? We missing anybody? I think that was it. Yeah, that's well, I've got a couple of shout outs that we'll do at the end of the episode, but I wanted to get back to the book, and I have a kind of then and now question.
Okay.
How long ago did you write the book?
I started 4 years ago.
4 years ago. When did you finish?
I finished about a year ago.
Okay. So I have no political takes whatsoever.
Sure.
That's not what this question is. But I am incredibly curious.
Yeah,
You talk about Elon Musk in the book.
I do, yeah.
How do you feel about him now? I don't know that any of that changes what you spoke about in the book.
Yeah.
Because you're citing his
Sure.
accomplishments. But how do you feel about Elon right now?
All right.
Like, I mean, you don't have to get into politics.
no,
I'm a
gonna-
big no politics, no religion guy, but
Yeah.
at least for me personally,
For
on the
you
show.
personally? Okay. So
But I don't care if anybody else talks about it.
I am a fan of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I, first of all, don't watch a whole lot of news. So
Okay.
if you talk about a specific thing
The
that he
world
did-
is burning. Leighton, I'm just kidding.
It looks pretty nice outside.
A plane just crashed
This is
on.
true. This is
Which is
true.
freaking crazy.
A plane just crashed in Boca this morning or
It's
this
why I
early
was late.
afternoon, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so generally, like Elon Musk, if he did something crazy yesterday, I don't know. I can't speak to that.
Yesterday, the day before, the week before.
Yeah, in terms of like Doge, because that's like a big thing. Generally, out of principle, I like it. Can you point to something that I would be like, well, yeah, no, I don't agree with that?
Sure.
But generally, like if we're paying taxes, I want to make sure that my tax money is going to good things and it's not being wasted. Now, is he doing it the absolute best way? No. Is he doing more than maybe other people have done? Because a lot of people will give lip service to, trying to make
every
things more
election,
efficient.
every
But then
4
they don't do
years.
anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is really messy. It's very painful, not maybe done in the most ideal fashion, but it's something. And I think the intention behind it is good. Is it perfect? I would be the first to say it's probably not perfect.
Yeah. I don't love it, but there is a little part of me that is just like, kind of, this has to be done. It's because like you said, people have talked about doing things like this forever, and then nobody ever does anything, and then we're like, 4 years from now, didn't you say you were going to do that last election cycle?
And if we do nothing, if
yeah.
we just continue on the track that we're on, we are literally, our country's going to be over. Because there's only so much debt you can rack up. I mean, it's just like your personal finance or your business or whatever you do that involves money. You can't just spend your way to oblivion, and we can't do it as a country. At some point, we're going to have to pay the piper. So I would like to not have to go to war with China because we got our financial house. Because in my opinion, and I've gone super politics right now.
Go.
There's only two ways out of this. Our debt. We go to war, or we clean up our house.
Yeah.
And it's one of the two. There's no second option. There's no third option, in my opinion.
Sure.
I mean, you could always go for Costa Rican citizenship.
Hey, I mean,
The whole country can't, though.
Look, there's enough places to spread out.
Yeah.
The more I like you, the more you can center towards Asia. The
the,
less I like you, the further away you can go. Because I'm going to be in Asia.
wherever you go in the world, like America, I know I mean, we're in America. I hope most people like America that are here. I love America personally. But if America falls, it doesn't matter where you go.
It's true. Everyone is kind of supported by.
Yeah. And who are we? Who fills that vacuum? What are the values of the country that fills that vacuum? You look at like AI and the countries out there that have like programmed AI with their values. It's like, that's problematic. You know, if America goes away and there's a vacuum and it's filled by these other countries, I don't think the prospects for the world are as good as they would be with America in the picture. That's my opinion.
You know what that means? They found water on Mars.
Yeah, a trippy show I'm watching right now is called The Expanse. And have you guys watched that?
No.
Great fucking show.
Great show.
Are they doing another season?
Man, I'm
I'm
in episode season 4 right now. So I don't know how it goes to 6.
Is it like a Discovery Channel show or a sci-fi
No, it's like a
show?
sci-fi
It was
show.
a sci-fi that moved over to one of the streaming services.
Yeah, it's on Prime. It's on Prime
moved to
right now.
Prime.
Okay.
They continued and then did a few seasons on Prime. It was one of those like fans brought it back kind of situations. It's really good.
Do you think cable is
Really
near
good.
its end?
What's that?
Do you think we're going to go all streaming?
What's cable?
Yeah,
That's
people
what I'm
have cut
saying.
the cord. Yeah, we're pretty much.
What's your answer?
But then there's so many streaming sites. Like somebody's got to come up with an idea of
The whole like
Which is just going to
bundling
be the
it.
reinvention of cable.
A streaming broker. Look, hey, look at that.
Well, what happened is like, you know, they buy each other up. So like if you do like Hulu has
and
Disney,
ESPN Plus,
ESPN Plus,
yeah.
right? So that's what's happening. And then you've got like if you do like a Walmart membership, they give you like Universal, something like is it Universal?
I'm not sure about
I don't
Walmart.
know.
I forget which one. Paramount. I think they do. They have a deal with Paramount, so they do Paramount, right? So it's like that.
Yeah, that works.
Netflix is just I don't think anybody bundles. But then like I had also like T-Mobile. My wife had Netflix through T-Mobile. Through her member, it was like she paid nothing extra, and then the second year it was like $5, and then $10, and then it went back to just like what you would pay.
Yeah.
But through T-Mobile, we had like things like that have happened. But there are the bundling services, so it's kind of happening already. Yeah. But I don't think there are too many streaming services that just have a deal without them having been bought out. You know?
So on The Expanse, real quick, just to bring it back to what you were saying, is like they end up sending people to Mars, but then they become the enemy of Earth in the future.
Of course.
So, like it's like the people that are born in space are not human. Like they're not. They're
they're
what
not
do they call? What do they want to call them?
They're, they're Martians.
You have the Belters that work in the asteroid belt, and they're like they're perceived like as not perceived,
like
but they're treated as the
Australian
dregs
mines.
of society. Exactly.
Okay.
And they have a chip on their shoulder, rightfully so, based off of how this is going. And then they have the inners, which are the Martians and the humans. So we're sending people to Mars to like save our species, but we can ultimately annihilate each other, and then no more humanity.
They're warring. They're fighting each
like
other. It is a really. I stumbled across that
What is
show.
it? It's on Prime, you said?
Expanse.
The Expanse, yeah.
Worth every like. I feel like it got better as
How many
as
seasons
it went.
are there?
Six, I believe. It's really
Tall
good.
order, but I understand.
Yeah. It's good stuff. I'm
Small
always
chunk, bro,
when
small
it
chunks.
comes up, I'm like, man, are they gonna do another? It's been a few years since they've done another season. I think it's kind of one of those that like during COVID it kind of stopped, and then they might not have continued on. But it definitely it's a good show. All right, so we're almost at 2:00 here, so we're gonna do our drill down. The drill down are some of the most popular questions that we get. So it's like we're usually asking everybody. I know that we didn't. If anybody's listening, we didn't talk a lot about jiu-jitsu, but we love talking to people.
This is more jiu-jitsu than we've talked about in the last 3 episodes.
Probably,
look at that.
probably. So we do. I do love talking to jiu-jitsu practitioners who have something interesting going on. That's kind of like we're the show evolves and goes through certain time. Right now, it's like this is my favorite thing to do is to just kind of learn about people and the world around their jiu-jitsu, how it ties in. But we're going to go to some specific jiu-jitsu questions. So we call this the drill down. At this point, Bo has a sound effect that goes,
the drill down.
I suck at it. All right. So preference, gi or no gi? What are you training mostly?
It's crazy. I train gi a lot, but I go to the open mat no gi. So I roll more no gi.
Okay. Takedown or pull guard?
Takedown for sure. I'm a judo guy.
So were you a judo practitioner as well, or
no? My academy offers judo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I love judo.
Very
I love
cool.
judo.
And you said you also did some karate.
Japanese Shotokan, but when I was much younger.
Okay. Music during rolling. You like music during rolling? Or do
You
want it
have
nice
to,
and
because the
quiet?
grunts and that doesn't work. You have to have some kind of music.
Slow R&B.
The type of music is important.
Yeah.
Music, yes.
Ain't nothing wrong.
What's your preference? If you're controlling the music dial,
Oh man,
the music
They don't-
dial. Listening
They
to me.
don't
Did I
let
just
me.
age myself?
I'm the oldest guy, or probably
It's hardcore death metal. You
the
know it.
one I do like when let the bodies hit the floor. So we'll go with that death metal.
Death metal. Okay. What would you be doing now? A lot of times we have academy owners on, so this question has always kind of been for that. But what would you be doing if you hadn't have found martial arts? And for you, it's like, are there other? What would you be doing physically? Like, what would you be doing for exercise? Did you have another passion? Were you a runner? Did you play a sport?
Yeah, I ran in high school, but as I've gotten older, there's a lot of impact on the body. But I chose jiu-jitsu. But it's different, man, because jiu-jitsu injuries are like localized, where impact of running kind of goes through your whole body, and it feels can wear your whole body down.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't doing jiu-jitsu, I would be lifting, which I do anyway. I'd just be lifting more.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 46.
46.
I don't look as good as you, man. You look like you could be younger than I am.
I was the gray in your beard might make you look a little bit older.
No, I'm
but
talking about your
face,
skin,
like,
bro.
there's
This
no
guy's skin. I don't know.
wrinkles
Is that Leheal that got your skin going on too?
I don't know. I don't.
Your skin looks amazing.
I bet his girlfriend like sits there and puts like the stuff on him.
I don't feel. I mean,
The
when I look
paste?
at myself, I'm like, I see every little ding. I can be like, that happened in this one.
1976 hockey
83. So yeah. Are you like a consumer of instructionals? Are you watching on Instagram, or do you watch all the the ADCCs and the IBJ Jet? Like, are you that guy, or is it
No,
like
I'm not that
go
guy.
to the gym, do my jiu-jitsu, and that's it?
I'm kind of in the middle. No, I actually wouldn't say in the middle. I'm a little more towards not doing much in that respect. I Craig Jones Invitational. I love that.
That was
was awesome. And one
They're
of the
coming
fights,
back with a teams thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
one of the fights, I forget one of the Tolo brothers, and that fight.
Those kids have exciting fights
There's just
every time.
It
absolutely
was
amazing.
was it Tackett?
Tackett
and Rotolo?
That was the best fight I think I've ever seen. Now, I'm younger in my jiu-jitsu, so I don't know if there's like a trillion better fights than that, but that's the best fight that I've ever seen.
That's probably one of the best fights in the last few years.
Because it's also
maybe
generational.
decade.
Like when you watch like my coach's jiu-jitsu, it is so
It's a different
drastically
sport
different.
almost.
And it's not as fun to watch.
Slower,
No one's
much
rolling,
slower,
twisted. It is, man, lock this down, hold this down, and then just safely look for finishes.
That's my jiu-jitsu right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's everyone's jiu-jitsu over like 38.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in
If
the
you
right
want to get past, I mean, I started over 40, so if you want to continue to do this, I'm going to be 52 in June. You have to pull guard, do a lot of jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
pull guard, watch the knees. I was running down the hallway last night with my dog, and I was just like, oh, fuck. I'm like, oh,
That's the
geez.
bad start of a story at our age. I was running.
carpeted hallway. I'm like,
Why
I'm
are
like,
you running in
what?
the hall?
Yeah.
I wound up. I had to do the the sideways shuffle. What do they call it? I was just like doing this. Like I wound
shuffle.
up doing the shuffle.
The Lima
I was
shuffle.
like my knees were. I was just like, let me go sideways. But I was just getting the dog to run
Well,
and
we
play
know
down
what
the
you're going
hallway.
to get injected next time you go to Leheal.
With shoulders next, and then hopefully knees. So, favorite competitor to watch? You mentioned CJI, but do you have somebody that you're like, I got it? I mean, when I watch all this stuff.
Not really. But if the Rotolos are fighting, I'm gonna watch. And Tackett now too, like that guy. If I ever see him doing anything, I would definitely
He's
watch
got
it.
two brothers too, right? He's got a younger and an older brother. The one that fought the Rotolo, there's an older brother. There's William. I don't know who the other names. William is the oldest brother. I forget who's the middle. And then there's a younger brother as well. There's three of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they're all like
They're all killers.
super talented.
That's the Hillbilly Hammer, right?
No, Hillbilly
Tackett?
Hammer. No, Hillbilly Hammer is from Daisy Fresh.
Oh.
I forget his
that
name.
guy.
Is Tackett not from Davies?
No, Tackett's. They're like the OGs out in Texas. Like
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think they're around Austin. They might be in another city actually.
Okay.
But they're like it's like Brazilian something academy. It's a Brazilian Fight Academy, I think is. think. Somebody correct me. I'm sure I'll get corrected. They're
Trust
yeah,
the
they're out there.
internet.
Yeah. All right. So last question.
Sure.
You know what the last question is?
I don't. I've never gotten the last couple. You
geez,
haven't done
never
it.
watched the whole.
The last couple ones you haven't gotten to this far. You know?
So, do you or do you not wash your jiu-jitsu belt?
Hold on, before you answer this, what do you think?
I'm gonna say younger in years in jiu-jitsu. I would say usually somebody that's 6 years in. A lot of those were COVID years. Yeah, he's washing his belt.
I don't wash it as much as I need to.
But you've washed it.
I have not washed my purple belt.
And how long? How long have you
I've
had
been
it?
a purple belt for a year and a couple months.
Jesus.
Man, his juju is so good.
Professor
on his
Ricky,
energy, bro.
I'm just being honest, man.
I'll give you the
belt washers
suggestion.
here.
If you're not going to wash it, give it a little spray.
I'll wash it. I have nothing
Nutrizone
wrong with washing.
Clean, a little Lysol, one or the other. I hang it, I spray it.
bathed in the
I do wash my black. I wash my black belt. I've washed it maybe 3 times in a year and change.
Yeah.
But I do wash it. I don't know.
What a dork.
No, why don't you wash it? That's the more important question, because everybody has, I just don't wash it, or like, no, the blood of my enemies.
I never really okay, because I roll no gi a whole lot more than I roll in gi.
Mm-hmm.
My belt doesn't really get that like visibly soaked with sweat or
I've heard
or
that.
blood.
That's good. You're rolling on the ground. You're picking
So
it up.
you guys like drill in the gi?
I've heard that one. No disrespect intended.
No.
But it's touching the mat. The mat has the shit on it, whether it's wet or it gets sweaty.
I'm conceding me not being in the right place on this. I'm just being honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had the.
You're not the only one. Don't feel bad.
A lot of people have been like, well, I don't even wear it. It comes off and it's off in the corner. The second it touches the mat, that's where you're
It's on
picking
the
up the
floor.
shit.
That's why you don't eat food off the
Yeah,
floor.
it's where all the feet are walking, and the guy that
See,
doesn't.
now we're
The
gonna
guy
have
that went to
foot
the
weirdos
the
that
guy
are
that
coming
went
to
to
the
the
gym.
bathroom without his slippers on, came out, walked on the mat,
Firstly,
and your
who
belt
does that?
is just laying right
lot
on
of
top
people,
of where he
unfortunately.
was.
A lot of people.
Okay. Do you have a protocol in your gym for people who step off the mat barefoot?
It's
Like,
just the rule.
is your day done? Do you have to go home?
My last
Like,
academy, the coach would go off the mat, go in the bathroom, go into the men's room,
that
come on
is
and off
such
the
a
mat.
sign for me that it's time to go immediately.
Yeah.
They did the only thing they did one time is they bought those little like mats that like you wet it with some everybody
like
goes to the
Dettol.
same
Yeah,
one. They did that for a little while, and as soon as they ran out of the solution, they
course.
never at least when I was there, then it was just like, hey, the mat's dry. Yeah, we don't know. Like nobody ever did it again. I would go off the mat, whether I had sneakers or shoes, whatever I showed up with, and I would go. I'd put it down in front of the bathroom door, put them on, go into the bathroom. I
100%
did it religiously because I always thought, and he could walk right past me and go into the bathroom with his shoes off and then come back out. I think it's one of the most disgusting things that you can do. I mean, forget me. You might walk off the mat and just walk someplace away from the bathroom, and it doesn't feel as disgusting as like you went into the bathroom. I was just in there. I see pee droplets on the floor,
Everywhere.
and now you've walked, and I remember I did get staph once there. I'm 11, 12 years in, got staph once. And I remember when I called him, I said, listen, I just want to let you know I got staph. He's like, you could have gotten that from anywhere. And I'm like, I wasn't calling you to accuse you of that I got it there. I just wanted to let you know that I have staph. I'm going to be out. And I don't know, is there a protocol like, shit, somebody got staph, let's make sure we clean the mats a little extra good tonight? Like, I don't know. What would, if somebody called you got staph, would you do anything different in your academy?
I had a kid who was reffing school sports and got it there.
Okay.
Came in, he's like, I haven't been in 3 days, but I just saw this thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go through the video camera. Who did you train with over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 days? And then I have to make the awkward phone call. Hey, man, so-and-so got staph. Do you have any boils, scratches, cuts, itches, burns?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, cool. Be on the lookout. I'll see you on Monday. If
Do you ask them to kind of don't take a couple days off?
If they have like a scratch or a bump, go to the walk-in, go to the ER, go to your doctor. If after a week they've got nothing, on a certain level you have to trust them. Because who's going, I have this burning sensation in my forearm, but fuck it, I gotta roll.
Yeah.
No one. And if they do, they can get lost. But luckily, everyone that I've had to make that call to was like, okay, great.
Yeah.
And then I start getting the calls. Hey, I went to the doctor. I'm clean, or I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Have you ever had staff? Or,
I've had staff twice.
Yeah.
I've trained in other countries as well too. Every time I travel, I try and train.
I had one other thing had happened in my old gym where the young, not the coach's son, but another employee's son was like the superstar standout young guy, and he had ringworm, and they just like put tape over it.
Nope. Yeah, they did that like when I started 24 years ago.
Like, and I'm the idiot that still train. Like, he's literally training on the same mat with her, and I'm like, not even like, wait a minute. Go home. Do I say something? Literally just like putting tape.
Yeah. Like when I was coming up, like they'd be like, hey, this guy's got to fight. He can't take the time off.
Yeah.
So we put like a waterproof Band-Aid and tape. And I'm like, you got to hope the waterproof Band-Aid is plastic and so it kind of seals it in. But,
or not train.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap it up. We got another a podcaster coming in after us. Ben, you want to give them your handles?
Hi.
Give them your stuff.
I'm Ben, and you can get my gauze and tape at Fight Tape. You can get it at fighttape.us. If you are a show promoter and you want to provide the absolute best in Cutman gear for your fights, contact us. We'll take care of you. If you want this silky, sultry voice calling your violence of any combat sport, again, reach out. Talk to your friends.
At MMA Coach Ben, right?
Yes, at MMA Coach Ben on Instagram.
It's on screen after when you're
Boom.
So, Leighton, do you want to any shout outs?
Sure.
Make sure everybody knows where to get the book.
Sure. So shout out to Maddox Academy, all the boys and girls at Maddox Academy, Professor Ricky Samiglia. You guys are awesome. Definitely part of my tribe. So thank you for all you've done for me. In terms of the book, follow me on Instagram at Your Happiness EQ. That's my Instagram handle. And if you want to buy the book, get your completely free happiness score, go to the website. It's yourhappinesseq.com.
I've been training jiu-jitsu for 4 years. In 4 years, I got hurt 6 times. I received stem cell injections in my wrists, elbows, shoulders, both knees, and I got stem cells recently injected in my left index finger. After a week and a half, I was right back at it, going the way I like to go at it. At Leheal, Biogenix, they're friendly, they're patient, they answer all the questions you might have. Educate yourself. Call Leheal, ask about stem cells, and see where it takes you.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
I'm going to there was one more book over there. Was that for...
I got a book and a hat for Ben, and then there's another, because I sometimes hear you mention another name behind the camera. I wasn't sure.
Okay. But I'm going to give the one that you gave me to my girlfriend.
The one that
she
says
wants
Milton?
to read it.
I wrote your name in the cover.
Yeah. I was gonna give her that
that's
one.
Cool.
But then I want one to leave here on set. You had one more book. Can I leave that one here?
For sure.
And if Bo wanted to, Bo's usually here, but not here today.
Yeah.
But I want one so we can put on the set like this.
Yeah,
so
that'd
that
be awesome,
it'll represent for a little bit.
That'd be huge.
I mean, I've left all the books. We got Rob's behind me. We've got Richard Bressler and Scott Burr's book over there. Shout out to Richard. I hope that he's doing better. I know that he's having a tough time out there in Cali. I think they switched facilities. I don't know all the details, but he's moved from the hospital, I think, to another facility. Hopefully he's doing well. So we sending good vibes to Richard Bressler. You can check us out on Instagram at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. Right, you just hit the link in the bio and you can find all the ways to watch, listen, and support. My personal IG is Uncle Milty BJJ on Instagram. Did I say it last time and you were like, "Hey, weren't you going to change the handle?" Did I talk about changing the handle?
Talked about, you've been Uncle Milty BJJ for quite a while, but it doesn't represent all the things you do.
Oh, okay.
Anymore, really?
I don't remember having the conversation. Is that crazy?
It was like a blurb more than a conversation.
Okay. Yeah. Like Uncle Milty is what people have been calling me since the 3rd grade. When somebody found out that Milton Berle was called Uncle Milty.
Oh, okay.
And then
I figured you're just a really proud
They did it
uncle.
to make fun of me, and then it stuck.
Of course,
you know?
That's how the best
You know,
names.
it's like calling the fat guy Slim, and for the rest of his life he's heavy, and everybody calls him Slim. So I have it. I wear it like all my friends call me Uncle Milty. Like, hey, Uncle Milty, what's up? Nobody just
Then
says.
keep
No,
it.
it's odd when somebody calls me Milton.
Oh,
So everybody calls me Uncle Milty. At least back in.
what
New
do you
York.
call him, Ben?
Milton.
Milton.
Sir?
Oh,
No. Again, listen, man. Thank you very much. Thank you for bringing the book and the hat. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. We'll leave it there. If when you write the next one, you want to come back on, or
sure.
anytime in between.
If I'm welcome with my not washed purple belt, but I will wash it tonight.
This is the invite that I'll extend to you. Love to have you back. If you ever want to bring like a professor or somebody you train with, be like, oh, this would be a great conference. Let's get on and talk. You see that there's another seat, bring in somebody. We do some round tables and just shoot the shit.
Awesome.
So
I'll
open
take you up on
invitation. We're usually booking out about 2 months. You kind of know, right? So right now we're booking out for we're in April. We're booking for May, for June. So just let me know ahead of time. We'll get something on the schedule and have you come back in, man.
Good stuff, man.
All right,
Appreciate
man?
it.
Appreciate it, man. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching and listening. Peace, love, jiu-jitsu. Oos.